Hi all, I am Disha Shukla and welcome to the session. In this session we are going to discuss a topic called wireless local loops. Now what do you mean by a loop? So in a telephonic system, the loop is a circuit line for a subscriber's phone to a line terminating the equipment at a central office. That is the actual connection that is made from the subscriber's phone to the line terminating the equipment at a central office. Now what is a wireless local loop? So implementation of a local loop, especially in a rural area, is used to remain a risk for many operators due to the less users and increased cost of the materials. So the loop lines are the copper wires which require more investment. So today, overcoming those things, we have the wireless local loops. Those have been introduced to solve most of these problems. That is the problem regarding the large amount of investment, because whenever you are creating a local loop, we use copper wires for that, and that can be quite expensive. So to overcome those problems, we have wireless local loops. So a wireless local loop is wireless. The labor charges and the time consuming investments are also not relevant as compared to the local loops. So the wireless local loop systems can be based on one of the four technologies, that is either satellite based system, it can be either cellular based system, it can be microcellular based system, or a fixed wireless access system. Now this figure shows the actual architecture of a wireless local loop, wherein you have a PSTN that is connected to a switch function. Then we have a WANO, that is the local exchange office, and then it is connected to your home, wherein we have a WASU unit. Now we'll see all of them in detail. So what is a WANO? NU. So it is the short form for your wireless access network unit. Now it is present at the local exchange office, and all the WASUs, that is the home unit, are connected to it. Its function includes authentication of the users, operations and maintenance. Now whatever operations are taking on, WANU keeps an eye on it, that is your wireless access network unit keeps an eye on it, and it keeps the maintenance of it, routing the call and transceiving the voice and data. So the wireless access network unit, that is the WANU, consists of four major components, that is several base station transceivers over the radio ports control unit, an exchange manager, and an HLR. Now the WASU, that is the wireless access subscriber unit. Now it provides an air interface, that is towards the network, and a traditional interface TWLL towards the subscriber. It provides two interfaces. The first one is the air interface towards the network, and the traditional interface towards the subscriber. The power supply for it is provided locally. The interface includes the protocol conversion and transcoding, authentication functions, and signaling functions. All these functionalities are provided by the interface that we are talking about, that is the protocol conversion and transcoding, authentication function, and signaling function. So now this TWLL interface can be an RJ11 or an RJ45 port that we have connected to the devices, and the UWLL interface can be an AMPS, GSM, DECT, or any of the interface. Now it provides various functionalities like authentication. Wireless local loop, it has certain functionalities. So those are like authentication, air interface privacy, over the air registration of the subscriber units, operation and maintenance, routing, billing, switching functions, transcoding of the voice and data. So wrapping it up, in traditional telephone networks, your phone used to be connected to the nearest exchange through a pair of copper wires. But in a wireless local loop technology, it simply means that the subscriber is connected to the nearest exchange through a radio link instead of using the copper wires. So what are some of the advantages of WLL over the traditional wired line connectivity? So in general, WLL is cheaper and quicker than the copper wire connectivity. As the cost of the copper rises over time, and so does the cost of digging, it is likely to become an ever more significant advantage. Now, in a traditional wire network, the cost of the AC last mile would amount to a substantial portion of the total cost of putting up the network. And this would be particularly true in the remote locations with a very few subscribers or in a difficult terrain. So it is this part of the cost that WLL significantly reduces. The economics of WLL thus works in its favor, and wireless local loop is also more suitable technology for a quick rollout of a network, as it bypasses the digging ditches to the laying the copper wires. That is the way you need to lay the copper wire by digging and ditching all those copper wires. It is more helpful, WLL. So this is there is a significant factor in the crowded urban localities where the permission to dig and may be almost impossible to get. And another major advantage of using a radio link for the last mile is that it considerably reduces the amount of number of faults that we have. So close to 90% of all the basic telephone faults occur in the last mile of the network. So with a radio link replacing the wires, this fault becomes almost negligible. Some of the major wireless access technologies include FDMA, that is the frequency division multiple access. We have already seen all of these technologies. The time division multiple access and the code division multiple access that are used for wireless local loop. The one that is being used in India here we have is CDMA. This is a full-fledged cellular mobile technology, and in fact it is the most dominant technology for mobile phone services in the countries like US and Korea. So if WLL is based on the cellular technology, why are we even talking of limited mobility? So this is a case of regulatory restriction getting confused with the technology limitation. Some of the government policies in India has laid down the fixed line operators will also be allowed to use the WLL technology to offer mobility within a single billing area, or what is technically called a short distance calling area, or SDCA. So broadly it is equivalent to a single town or a city. So however, this will not be allowed to offer the mobile services with the roaming facilities. This is a stipulation of government, and it has nothing to do with the limitations of CDMA. So this is all about the wireless local loop. If you have any queries, you can ask me. Until then, keep learning.